Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and I'm excited because we're going on with a little bit of coverage of the Transformers The Last Night toy line, and today we're going to take a look at Deluxe Class Barricade. I've never had a Barricade figure. I didn't get the original one in 2007, so I'm really kind of jacked to look at this guy. Is he going to live up to expectations? Well, we're going to find out in the latest GotBot True review. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, subscribe, share, check out Machinery of Man, the Everything Factor. Have a look on the channel at Universal Collision and whatever else might tickle your fancy. And hey, check me out everywhere. Like I said, I've never had a version of Barricade, so I'm really kind of excited to have this guy. It's paid apps. Right away I'm going to give him a 9. Largely because I think that the white is supposed to be on the arm, the tires will be facing back. I feel like the kind of beigey gray plastic is probably overused a little bit. Of course, I haven't seen the film. I'm only going on concept art and box art and that sort of stuff, so it's difficult to grade him there. So I'm going to say a 9. I'm going to take him out of it just for a moment and bring in his box actually, so you can sort of see what I'm talking about. Here's the box, and you see what I mean with the police section on his shoulder, the tire facing back, so it's not quite right. I will say this, the figure does have the knuckle dusters that say protect and serve written kind of backwards, so that as he is pummeling opponents, they will have protect and serve all over their face, I guess. It's a nice box, you know. It says that he's a Decepticon trickster because he's an evil police car, I guess. You know, it's nice, but again, is putting them in a box instead of on a blister pack worth a $10 price increase? No, I don't think so. Do I think this guy's worth 30 bucks? I don't think so, but we'll see. My understanding is that this is being done to make this line, this premiere edition, more collector friendly. Kind of like the Star Wars Black Series or the Marvel Legends series. So taking that out of it. I will say this, I do think that the instruction manual is kind of cool, because what you have on one side is him going from vehicle to car, and on the other, though not as big for some peculiar reason, you have him going from car to vehicle. So it shows both methods of transforming this guy. So I do dig that. Bringing him back in, you know, how does he compare? Well, you know, here he is with my custom Perceptor. You know, he's pretty good deluxe size, I guess, maybe a little bit smaller. Here he is with a guy who I've actually... I gotta do an update video, I guess, but since the review I've actually done more work on him. This is my custom Titans Return Cup, and you can see again, like, he's slightly shorter than Cup. And here he is with his wave mate, the Decepticon Berserker. So there you go. I will say this, Barricade feels kind of burly and hench, and I think that that's cool. So far for paint apps he has a 9. Great start. Articulation next. Well, he has this big backpack, and that does hinder the backward movement, but we'll get down to that and kind of talk about that in a minute. He has a head that can move left and right, no real up and down, a little wiggle. The chest does not tab in, so the chest is always sort of floating. It's not that it, like, if you turn him upside down, it's not going to fall or anything, but it doesn't really tab in per se. The arms can go all the way around 360. They can go out about that far, which is not too bad. He has a nice 90 degrees at the elbow. He has wrist swivel. If you look on this wrist, you'll really be able to see it. Wrist swivel, which is nice. He has a bicep swivel, which is pretty good. That works well. No waist. Nothing at the waist. Legs can go all the way forward. Legs can go back if we remove this backpack, and we'll talk about that again, like I said, in a little bit. Knees 90 degrees, thigh swivel, nothing really at the ankle. I guess the foot can go forward if that's, you know, if that's of any use to you. The nightstick has a little, and his gun for that matter. I'll take both of those off to show them in a few minutes. But they basically have little rectangular pegs that go into, I'll even take this off of his arm for now. And I'll show this in a little bit too. There's little, see if I can show this nicely. There's little rectangular pegs right here on the upper thigh. That's what the nightstick and his pistol can go into. Under the arm we have some opening and some gappage. And that's what the, what will we call it? Gatling gun, I guess, wraps around his fist by. And I'll show that momentarily. So articulation, oh, and I don't think I showed it out to the side, all the way out. He does splits for days. Articulation is pretty good. If we take this off, and back here, if you come to the back and you even open out the doors, we have a little hinge connected on up in here, and you can just pop this off and, I don't know, fold that up over his back, I guess. If you do that, then he can bring his legs all the way back. Honestly, his articulation, and he stands pretty solidly, is, I'd say it's a good 9.5. A lot of people have wondered, can you use this as a riot shield? I haven't found a way for him to hold it. If anybody knows a way for him to hold it, hey, let me know. I haven't found a way for him to securely hold it. I mean, you can sort of put it on his arm and kind of wrap the doors sort of in around a little bit, but that's stretching it. So for me, for now, I've really just kept it on back here. It does slightly hinder the articulation of the backward mobility of the legs, but that's not a big deal in my estimation. So putting this back on, and this generally isn't difficult to get on. We will put that there and close that up and put that back down on his back. He has a backpack, but it's not obtrusive really. So so far he's scoring pretty well. I mean, he's got a 9 for paint apps, he's got a 9.5 for articulation. That's a 9.25. I mentioned his ability to have the weapon store. The Gatling gun, if we open it up, we will notice that there are 2 little rectangular starts down here. In vehicle mode, they go into the back windshield. In robot mode, they go up under his arm, and then this folds around his forearm fist. And that's how that attaches. His pistol looks fantastic. I think that looks so cool, but you'll notice that there's a little rectangular peg here that goes into his thigh and holds very securely. And his nightstick, nice molding, unpainted. You'll notice that there's a little rectangular peg on this side. That's what goes into his thigh, and again holds very securely. So I totally dig his weapon storage. And as a matter of fact, if we put, oh, I'm sorry, I explained something incorrectly, and I'm going to rectify it right now before we do it. I had said on this guy that we were using the rectangular slot way up here. We're not. There's a rectangular slot on the lower thigh, and that's where it goes. And there's a rectangular slot on this lower thigh. Same thing. So we could take each of these, and of course, does he hold them in his hands? Yeah, sure. Sure he does. I mean, there's the pistol in his hand. We can take that off now and secure it on his, and of course, doing this at a distance now must be a pain. It does tab in. Why are you doing this to me? It does tab in easily and securely, actually. I'm making it look harder here than it actually is because I'm trying to do it on camera. Over here, same thing. This tabs in, no problem. I mean, neither of those are falling out. They're not loose at all. I don't even think you're just going to knock them out. They're great, actually. We're not going to put his Gatling gun on now. We'll hold that off for a few minutes. Is that all to mention here? I think so. I mean, he looks really great. You know, nice head sculpt and stuff. I don't know if I can kind of get these legs back out of the way to see the head sculpt a bit better. Let's see. Maybe you see the head sculpt a bit better there. Maybe. But yeah, I'm a fan of that. Now comes the transformation. And again, this is not the funnest part of this guy. I don't think kids are going to like it. I think they would like the Legion Class 1 a lot better for transformation. Collectors might dig it. I find it to be a bit of a pain at sections. At one section, the arms. I do not like the arms, and that's even going to be a challenge now to show you effectively. But we will try and plug through. So you pull back the whole backpack section. I guess you could open out these doors for now if you want, and you're just going to leave that free flowing. Kind of a la War for Cybertron Optimus. You take the chest, which isn't really pegged in anyway, and you bring it up. It's probably not going to go up and stay secure now, but you just sort of lift it up. Now we need to deal with the arms. And we bring the arms up over his head. You're going to want to straighten them out. You're going to turn them like that and like that. And I'm going to explain exactly what I'm doing here now in just a second, because I'm really going to try and focus on these arms for you guys. Okay, so you bring the arms up over his head. When you bring the arms up over his head, if you look at where the bicep swivel is, you want the little slit to now be facing forward. If his arm is still, down, you want to have the opening of the mushroom peg facing forward. If you don't have that done, these are not going to transform right. And you want the fists to be facing in toward the body with the knuckle dusters facing out. You have to have that done. It's the only way that these arms are going to transform. Now, let's get these legs up here out of the way as much as we can, because I want to get in as close as I can here to show this. Now, we have him looking like this. You will notice a gray hinge right here. You will notice a gray hinge over here. And truth is, those hinges can really bend well in. But the problem with bending them all the way in is that this is connected to this shoulder piece. So now it's not going to be in the right position to lock up here on the side. So what do? Here's what we do. We take the arm. We angle it in one click. Just one. We have this out, and now we need to bring this whole assembly down. It needs to clear over the thigh, and it goes in behind here. So it needs to clear the thigh and go in behind right here. You are probably going to have to push it down an uncomfortable amount. So you bring it down, just like that, and you keep pushing it down. And you need to bring it all the way down. When you think that you're done, you're not. You need to keep pushing it down, and you need to get this fist up under the hood. So I'm going to try and do that for you now. Bring it down all the way. Push it in as much as you can. If you're anything like me, you're going to feel like you're going to break the thing, because that's exactly how I feel. There. You push it all the way in, and you bring that up, and then you lock this piece in. And the arm should look like this underneath, straight up the side. Not only should it look like that underneath, straight up the side, but, and I'm going to actually remove this, because I want you to be able to see it. And I think it's important that you be able to see it. But you need to have the shoulder and that hinge in like this. It needs to be pushed in all that way over the thigh. We're going to bring this one down next. So you do the same thing. You bring this fender kind of forward so you got room to work. You hinge that gray hinge ahead one click. You start bringing this down. You have to get it in over that thigh. Again. You're going to have to push it and feel uncomfortable doing so. And sort of try your best to finagle it in there. You're going to have to get that hand up under the hood. Which again doesn't feel very good to do. Or at least it doesn't feel very good for me to do. And boom. Now you have both shoulders in here. Some people will try to transform the legs first. You can't do that. You have to move the legs around too much to get them out of the way. There is very terrible clearance here. It is a clearance issue, much like the clearance issue that the evasion mode Optimus had with getting his arms in. You can do it, but you don't feel safe doing it. Take these legs now. And this is the easy part. Oh, and bring this fender up and tab it in. When you tab it in, you're really kind of tabbing it into the forearm, to be honest with you, is really what you're doing. Now, take these thighs, turn it to the side, turn it to the side. You're turning it such that now the weapons are down underneath. Put the feet up if you haven't already, and take the two heel spur sections, bring them down, and they close together to make his back bumper. Some people said that the little tab that's there isn't very good. Actually, I find the little tab that's there to be quite secure once you tab it together. Although now, it doesn't want to tab together for me. There, and that's how he looks at the moment. Right? That's how he looks at the moment. Now, I took off that hood section. Naturally, you're not supposed to do that, and you should just have it left out. So I'm going to just reattach this real quickly here, I hope. Because the only reason I had it off was to make it easier to show you guys what was done. So now we have this that was just left out right from the very beginning. This is the easy part. This will now just come down and it slots in there actually pretty nicely for the most part. That slots in, that slots in, and now there are two tabs on those back heel sections that become the back bumper. They slot up underneath very securely to hold in place. Just bring that together, bring that together. I just knocked off his nightstick, so we'll put that back on real quick. Bring that in. Line that up. Line that up. That was just a bit of tab squeezing, and in the end, boom, there you go. You have Barricade in his vehicle mode. You can open out, like I said, that Gatling gun. There are two little notches back here. Put that in the two little notches, and I guess he has a Gatling gun on the back. And even with his weapons underneath, he rolls like a champion. He was scoring really well. He was a 9.25. The transformation isn't bad, but those arms, I fear breakage. I haven't seen stress marks or anything like that, but I don't feel safe doing it. I don't like the arm transformation. The legs, great. The front fenders, great. The whole way the backpack comes in and fits in perfectly is great. The way it tabs into the back is fantastic. But I think that the rough tolerances on those shoulders and arms really hurt this figure. I'm personally giving his transformation overall score about a 5. In the end, he's about a 7. Again, I'm sure I'm colored by the fact that we've had the price hike. I'm sure I'm colored by the fact that I feel like they've been hitting it out of the park with the Titans Return line, and this is not up to par with that. No way. If you're really into the movie line, I think you kind of got to have Barricade. I'm glad I have a Barricade because I've never had the character. Do I think he's worth the price of admission? Nope, I don't. I would at least wait for a sale for this guy. Anyway, that's it for another one. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you're really digging this line or not. I always love to hear your thoughts. And I always love the fact that you guys were kind enough to give me some of your valuable time. I really do appreciate it, as always. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together for another visit right here inside the video.